Innistrad Remastered has released. Now, I was pretty psyched when Dominaria Remastered came, and then Ravnica Remastered came, and, then we all came and we had those dough-covered hot dogs. So it's a few days after release weekend. Are there any sweet buys out there? Now that the supply has gotten out there into the hot little hands of the whales, what's left for the hyenas? Well, Nicky G is here to tell you. But you gotta subscribe to the channel, buddy. That's the only way you get these sweet deals, man. Let's get into it. But first, a special thank you to the patrons and the members. These are giants among dudes. I am out here scouring the internet, and the first thing I saw was Blood Artist. 1 in a black creature, vampire, it's a 0/1. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I do want to have a special mention to this card, man. Basically, this is for those Aristocrats decks, and is a key piece. Aristocrats don't rely on combat, they rely on graveyard loops, stuff dying, token generation, sacrifice. The cool thing about Blood Artist is that it counts any creature. So you can also slot this in the decks where you're doing a lot of removal engine decks like Ygra, whatever the heck that cat's name is. This has never been super expensive, but you can get this old border version for under $1, and that's a great buy. Next up, you have these lands. These lands are great. Enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. I played lots of Commander, and these almost never enter tapped. If they do, it's usually because I don't have anything to cast with it and I just want to get it out there. These are all under $2, except for 3 of them. Weirdly, Sundown Pass, Deathcap Glade, and Shattered Sanctum are a little more, about $3 or so. These just go in decks, man. You need lands, brother. Good ones at bulk price are hard to come by, and got pricey before this reprint. Infernal Grasp is 1 in a black for an instant, destroy target creature, you lose 2 life. This was a $2 uncommon because it's very efficient, instant speed removal. Now it's 38 cents. Come on, brother. Now this is probably one of my all-time favorite cards. It's a beater. It's a win condition. It's just a cool shrimp lobster out there. It's the Hullbreaker Horror. 5 blue, creature Kraken Horror. It's a 7/8, has flash. The spell can't be countered. Whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1. Return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand, or return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. This is a great reanimator target. It's an infinite combo with Soul Ring and Everflowing Chalice at $1. This is hyena pornography, dude. I'm like Vince McMahon over here adding these to my card, dude. Exploding. Unnatural Growth. That was my nickname back in college, dude. 1 and 4 green, so this is 5 mana total for an enchantment. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. So that's each combat, even your opponent's combats. This card wasn't super expensive. It was about $4 or so, but this reprint is about $1.50. Always like this card. I use it in my werewolf deck. It's great for the big green machines off the top rope, brother. Now this one surprised me. Cathar's Crusade, 3 white for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, including that creature that just entered. Very powerful enchantment. In your counter stacks, this is a win condition. Has a few combos out there. Counts tokens too. So listen, this was around $8, but this old border version is under $3. Now under $1, you're going to need this in a few months, dude, when we don't have any food. You're going to need a second harvest. 2 green for an instant. For each token you control, create a token that's a copy of that permanent. I like this card, but I think it's a bit of a win more. Your mileage may vary though, and it's under $1, man. Might as well give it a try for that bulk price. This was up around $6. Laboratory Maniac, classic card here, 2 in a blue, creature human wizard. It's a 2/2. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. His mind whirled with grand plans, never thinking of what might happen if he were to succeed. Wow, dude, if that's not a commentary on contemporary politics, brother. The Lab Man was pricey. It was around $5, but this sweet little uncommon is 50 cents. Or $1.30 for the weird ecstatic nut bar, Afro guy version out there. Eldritch Evolution, fantastic creature tutor, 1 green for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less, where X is 2 plus the sacrifice creature's mana value. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle, exile it. What do you think that power costs, man? $5, $10, $25? Nope, 76 cents. Yeah, great card, man. Now this card was up around $8, but is also in the Aetherdrift Commander. The double reprint has knocked it down to $1 and change for this version. Conjurer's Closet. 5 generic mana artifact. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile target creature you control, return that card to the battlefield under your control. Fantastic. Vanquish the Horde. Sean Connery is standing on the corpses of his wives after he slapped the life out of them. 6 white for a sorcery. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Destroy all creatures. I have cast this for 2 mana. I think this card is fantastic. It's a 2 mana board wipe, dude. Long live this card. 63 cents. Absolute steal. And the classic Gravecrawler. 1 black mana, creature zombie, it's a 2/1. Gravecrawler can't block. You may cast it from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. Zombie Combo Machines was up over $5, is now $1 and change, man. I love this card. Looks like my ex-girlfriend trying to get home after a rough night at the dance club. All her makeup just fell off, crawling around wasted. Do you think I'm pretty? Yes, yeah. Go to bed. Thalia the Heretic Cathar. 2 and a white legendary creature, human soldier. It's a 3/2 with first strike. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter tapped. She's cute. She's mad. She's ready to poke you full of little holes with her sword, dude. What do you want? 75 cents? This card is just the Queen Hate Bear. Great at that price. Now up until this point you guys have seen nothing but bulk bangers, but I'm making an exception here for the Balefire Dragon. 5 red creature dragon. It's a 6/6 with flying. Whenever this thing deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to each creature that player controls. If it comes for you, die boldly or die swiftly. For die you will. Half price at about $6.50. All the other versions are $13. Not bad, dude. You know, it's a little rich for my blood, but if you really need one, there it is. Westvale Abbey. This is where the Beatles recorded Abbey Road. It's a land, has tap, add colorless, and 5 in tap, pay 1 life, create a 1/1 white and black human cleric creature token. Seems a little overcosted. Has 5 in tap, sacrifice 5 creatures, transform it, and then untap it into Ormondal, the Profane Prince. So this guy's a demon. It's a 9/7. Has flying, lifelink, indestructible, and haste. I have never gotten this to go off. You know, I do have this in a couple decks that are like sacrifice decks. It's a tad overcosted, but if you see a board wipe coming, you might as well sacrifice all your stuff with that 5 mana. But, you know, this has been up around $5, and if you want one now, it's 80 cents. Now this is a shocker right here. Hold on to your taint, brother. Deadeye Navigator, 4 blue, creature spirit, it's a 5/5 with soul bond. As long as Deadeye Navigator is paired with another creature, each of those creatures has 1 in a blue, exile this creature, return it to the battlefield under your control. $1, 53 cents, mic drop, pants down, water broken. The Deadeye is a broken mess, and if you need one, you know, for your combos, you should probably buy one now. Reforge the Soul, 3 red for a sorcery. Each player discards their hand, draws 7 cards. Has Miracle for 1 in a red. This is a great wheel card. It's under $2 and is down from about $6. I use this in a lot of decks, man, so I'm psyched about this. Now, how much would you pay for a Cultivator Colossus? 4 green, creature plant beast. It's a star, has trample, power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control, but when it enters, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you do, draw a card, repeat this process. You're just basically emptying your hand of all your lands, dude, and you're drawing cards and you're going nutso. Well, this is under about $5, still too pricey for me, but I don't really have a deck for it. You know, I don't have a ton of landfall decks, but if you need one, a $5 for this guy really ain't bad, as it was up around $15. I'm just here to tell you the prices, man. I ain't here to judge, and I'm not a huge vampire guy. More of a werewolf fella. You know, being a hairy monster myself, it kind of bothered me in those Twilight movies they didn't cast more hairy dudes. All the werewolves were hairless, dude. I'm standing right here. A Greek god, full of hair, man. Whatever. Captivating vampire, 1 black, creature vampire, it's a 2/2. Other vampire creatures you control get +1/+1. Tap 5 untapped vampires you control. Gain control of target creature. Becomes a vampire in addition to its other types. So surprisingly, this was around $10, but it's a damn dollar right now, man. Look at this fella. I saw this guy out at 80s night, right? I introduced myself. He said his name was Stacy, but later I found out his name was really Todd. I thought that was pretty disrespectful, man. It's a true story, brother. I love this card, down to 50 cents from $5. Heartless Summoning, 1 in a black for an enchantment. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Creatures you control get -1/-1. I love this card. I love big, beefy demons and horrors and all that kind of stuff. And I never care that they get -1/-1 because I'm usually playing them for their ETB effects. But look at this lady here. She's down to clown in the zombie darkness. Great card, great pickup. And of course, we have the Host of Heron Sigarda. 2 green, white, legendary creature, Angel. It's a 5/5 with flying and hexproof. Spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause you to sacrifice permanents. Great devotion, yields great reward. Bro, this was around $6. Now it's 75 cents. Great big hexproof beater. Great commander, great card. Get those Edicts effects. Get them out of here, man. You don't need them. Great Voltron commander, too. Fantastic. 75 cents, dude. Come on. And that was a great one to close on. This is a banger list. I'm making a cart as we speak. Most of these are so cheap, man. There really isn't any point on waiting for them to get cheaper because most of them are just cents, not dollars. What a sweet deal, man. I'm getting that Host of Herons and slapping her in some deck or other, dude. Let's do it. It's magic time, dog. And that's for the hyenas. Nikki G, better commander. Signing off.